flip to 1039.
Hello, it's Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. This is the drive home. I didn't post yesterday's drive home videos. I probably won't. There really wasn't much content. But since I didn't post them, this is channel number 2, expounding upon the Toad also. I know I haven't given an update here. I don't know that anybody would watch this channel without watching the other channel. But in case you're wondering why it's been such a long time since I've posted a video, it's because the phone holder thing that I have for my car broke, and it wasn't safe to put I'm using a car cup phone holder. It just doesn't feel like that's the name for what it is. But anyway, the thing that holds your phone, I'm just using an alternate one I have that fits in the cup holder of the car. So anyway, that broke, and then a few days later, I hadn't found a replacement holder yet, so I stopped recording because balancing the phone in other places, like I tried using this, putting it on the car cup phone holder. I tried putting that up on the dashboard and wedging it various places, and it just didn't really work. And I tried the broken one too, which I haven't tried to fix. I haven't found a replacement yet. But anyway, that happened, and then I got gout, and I've had gout for about 3 weeks. I did work remotely for like a week and a half, and now I'm back to work. I'll work remotely tomorrow, but so since I was suffering from gout, I hadn't been driving back and forth to work. No driving back and forth to work. No driving back and forth to work videos. So that's the situation. That's why this channel hasn't had a video in such a long time. The ones I made yesterday, they were basically a rehash of the morning videos, and and then a lot of silence, and then I got a phone call during the third one, and I just didn't feel like posting them. This morning's videos, again, there's no like real cherries there, but I did intend to post them as soon as I got to work, but I got distracted and they went up pretty late. So anyway, this is the afternoon video to catch you up. I have gout. I've had gout. I've been fighting a flare-up for 3 weeks now, and hopefully it goes away soon. The other thing is I've started making cabbage. Today's day 3, solidly in day 3 of the cabbage making endeavor. I tasted it yesterday. It was delicious after day 2. The 2 jars I have going, I didn't mention this, I don't think, in the morning video. The 2 jars that I have going of cabbage, which is slowly turning into sauerkraut, is one of them smells slightly different than the other. One is a very strong sauerkraut smell. The other one, not so much. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the way come in. You can do it. There you go. I don't know if that has anything to do with the way I divided up the cabbage after I massaged it in the bowl, or if one is maybe going off. But there is a definite smell difference. I know which one I tasted. So anyway, when I get home, I'm going to taste at least one of them again. If it's good, I'm going to put it in I believe I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to stop the fermenting process and just use it as is. I may let it go a couple of more days. You're supposed to do 3 to 10 days. Like I said, it was already kind of tasty yesterday. It's if you're into fermented cabbage, but if you want, I'll go through the process. It's really simple to make. I know I've done this at least twice in the morning channel, but I'll explain it to you real quick. So you take a head of cabbage, you cut it into quarters, you remove the white core, the stem, and then you have all of those quarters, so you have it in 8 slices. You've already removed the outer leaves and washed them, by the way. You now take these long wedges of cabbage and you cut them across the bias, or whatever you call it, and to make all these little strips. And you put them in a bowl with a teaspoon and a half of kosher salt. After you put the teaspoon and a half of kosher salt into the bowl, you massage them all together for 5 minutes, and while you're massaging them, they'll start to release juices. Not enough to submerge them, but that'll continue over time. So you vigorously massage the salt and cabbage for 5 minutes, and then you transfer it over to containers. I found when I did this that the cabbage fit into two ball canning jars. I use wide mouth ones. Probably 4/5 of the way up, after like really jamming it into the jars. After I jammed it in there, I took one of the leaves, outer leaves that I cleaned, and I put that on top and jammed that down on top to keep the cabbage submerged, because I believe it's an anaerobic fermentation, which means it happens in the absence of oxygen. You need to keep it under the fluids. It won't go under the fluids on your initial crush, because there won't be enough fluid left. The next morning there will be, and I found that I have an olive jar that's smaller than the ball jar that I use for the cabbage. So I use that now. Like a couple times a day I'll come over and I'll take the olive jar, press it into the ball jar to keep the cabbage submerged underneath the liquid. If for some reason you do this and after a day you don't have enough liquid to submerge it, you can take a cup of water with a teaspoon of salt, dissolve the salt in the water, and then use that water to top off the jars. After you've got them like that, you just top them with a piece of cloth or a paper towel with a rubber band, and you just let them sit. Like I said, a couple times a day, you just keep crushing them down, make sure that they're underneath the water. And in 3 days, you'll have very weak sauerkraut, and I assume after 10 days, you'll have very strong sauerkraut. And I believe you can keep going even longer. So anyway, that's the current experiment. I think the next experiment is going to be pickles. I've made pickles before, but it's been a really long time, and I'd like to make them again. That's a much more complex recipe, but it's the same thing. It's just cucumbers in salty water, but you add a lot of other stuff, like, because I particularly like dill pickles, so you add dill, peppercorns, garlic, all this other stuff. I've done pickled eggs, but it's not the same kind of pickling. It's a vinegar pickling. I use pickled beets as the compound, so I make red pickled eggs. My dyslexia is getting worse by the second. I want to be on this side of the highway. So anyway, this cabbage experiment is pretty much run its course. Like I said, we're on day 3, so it's basically sauerkraut. I'll taste it today. I'll let you know the results tomorrow, and then maybe by this weekend I'll start making pickles, and I'll film that one. And at the same time, I might do another. Because I don't have a lot of it. It was only one head of cabbage, and it crushed it down pretty good, so it's not a ton of sauerkraut. I'll probably plow through it pretty quick, so when I go to make pickles, I'll also make some more sauerkraut. Maybe I'll film that at the same time. And I don't know what channel I'll put it on. This second channel is kind of a joke. It's just really an echo of the first channel. I don't really talk about anything exciting or new. And has a lot to do with the fact that I make, like, in general, when I was making these, I was making 6 or 7 of these a day. So, very, very easy to quickly run out of content, especially if I'm just talking about current things. And currently, not a lot's been happening because I've been laid up with gout. So I've got that going on. My new favorite whiskey is Elijah Craig. I think I mentioned that. Straight bourbon whiskey. Like I know I've been touting the virtues of Scotch for a long time. I can't really find a nice old Scotch at any of my local state stores. Like what I've been really looking for, it's like a running joke me and my wife have. We like to drink Scotch that's old enough to drink itself, but like you can't find any of that stuff. When you do find older Scotches, they are ridiculously expensive. But like I can't find anything in the 21-year range or older. They're not out there. At least not in the state stores. I should probably take another trip over to Roger Wilco. They always have a nice selection, at least they have in the past. Man, being someone who likes the drink, during the height of the pandemic, it was very difficult to get alcohol. I am surprised that during that time period, I didn't start making my own spirits. But besides the fermenting of cabbage and pickles and stuff like that, I really am seriously considering setting up my own kit for making and distilling alcohol. I was gifted a beer kit many years ago, and I never used it. I still have it floating around, and I have a couple of carboys, big 5-gallon glass carboys for putting mash in and letting that ferment. But there's a couple of other pieces I need. I'll probably read up on it tonight. It is Tuesday, so I should in theory bring home fixings for tacos, because I didn't pull any ground meat out of the freezer, so I've got nothing thawed. There are some leftovers. I could do pasta Soriani tonight, because I really don't feel like putting my shoes on to walk into a store just to get ground meat and some lettuce. So maybe I'll just make pasta Soriani tonight, which is just spaghetti, olive oil, mushrooms, and some spices. I don't know why we call it pasta Soriani. I just made it up one night. It's tasty. I've got a bunch of baby bella mushrooms, so I'll quarter them, put them in the water with the spaghetti while it's cooking. I could marinate them separately, but I'm just not feeling that adventurous tonight. I'm thinking something simple will be fine. I already have a bunch of grated Parmesan. I started. I buy Parmesan Reggiano. I have no idea how to say it. I think that was actually pretty close. I buy wedges of that now. I don't like buying the pre-grated Parmesan cheese. It's terrible. It like, especially lately, it just tastes like little plastic beads in there. It's not Parmesan cheese at all. So I buy the wedges of Parmesan Reggiano. I said it worse that time, and I just I shred it myself, and I keep it in little Tupperware containers in the fridge. It is so much better than those green tubes of grated Parmesan. It's a little bit of work, but it's definitely worth it, because, like I said, lately, there's a couple of issues depending on what you use your cheese for. Like, obviously, if you're buying it in those tubes pre-shredded, like even if you buy shred cheese, they come with an anti-caking agent, so you can't make cake with them. But no, the anti-caking agent, other than just being another chemical or whatever, it does, it can have an effect on your cooking. Like, so I've been shredding my own cheese when I make biscuits and stuff like that. I don't think the anti-caking agent is going to have that much of an effect. I mean, all it does is it stops the cheese from sticking together. But still in all, like I said, the last couple times I bought Parmesan cheese in those green shake tubes, it was awful. Like, it looked and tasted like plastic. But the actual cheese, like, it's just crazy tasty. Like shred it up and like put it on stuff. But the other thing is, like, if you just chop pieces off, like, I don't know if you're a cheese head like me, like a nice sharp cheddar, I'll chop that up and snack on it, little blocks of it. But Parmesan Reggiano, said it bad again. You break a piece of that off and you eat it. It's like, it's got all kinds of neat textures in it. Like, there's crystals that form in it, so there's like these crunchy bits. It's really good, and it's like, I've been making lasagnas lately, and like, I want to use the real stuff on the lasagnas. I've been making good lasagnas lately too. I keep following the recipe on the box. The recipe on the box, if you buy like I guess it's Barilla pasta, and it's got a recipe on the box on how to make lasagna. Don't follow that recipe. It's terrible. There's nowhere near enough meat or sauce in that recipe for a good lasagna. Like, I would definitely double the meat, double the sauce. like just 2 full jars of marinara sauce, like at least 1.5 pounds for 2 pounds of meat. Go with 2 pounds, and the way they tell you to build it out, I forget what cheese they leave out, but like most of the layers are just built with 2 cheeses, and then the top layer gets, I think it's maybe the mozzarella goes on the top. No, don't do that. Put mozzarella all the way through. Put all 3 cheeses on all 3 layers. That's much better than the directions that the box gives you. Interestingly, the last time I made lasagna, they actually shorted me one. So I believe they're supposed to be 20, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be 20 noodles per box, and that gives you the ability to make the 4 levels. The bottom layer of noodles, then the sauce and meat and cheese mix, then another layer, sauce, cheese, meat mix, another layer, sauce, cheese, meat mix, and then the top layer. But with 19, you only put 4 noodles on top, and I'm pretty sure it's always been 20. So you got 4 layers of noodles. 4 layers of noodles, 5 noodles each. And you know what lasagna noodles are, those long, rectangular, wibbly on the edges noodles. I find the best way to cook them is to put them into a pan. Like, you need a big enough pan, and cook them up on their side, and just keep going in there with the stick, whatever stick you're using to move them back and forth. Don't layer them like you would like just throw spaghetti in there and then just have them in there. Like you can start like that, but I find it works really well for me if I get them all lined up like filing cabinet thing. And then when you pull them out, because especially if you're one person making the lasagna, time is of the essence. If you throw them all down onto a pan, like even a cookie sheet, and you layer them, they'll stick to each other. So what I do is I put some tin foil on a cookie sheet, put a little bit of olive oil in there, throw the first 5 or 6, well, how many fit? I think I get like 8 across, something like that. And then I throw some olive oil on top of that, and I throw the next layer of noodles on top of that. And then, like, I just keep going until I run out of noodles. And then they're easy to work with. They don't stick together. And you can build your lasagna that way. No idea how I got off on that high-speed wobble talking about lasagna, but cheese. So anyway, that's all I have to say about lasagna, pickles, cabbage, and cheese. Ever. My mustache is very itchy. So I bought new shoes. I showed them in the video yesterday, and that video never got posted. So here's my new shoes, steel-tipped work boots. They're not bad. They don't exactly look like dress shoes. I'm not a big fan of laces. As I said, it wasn't a conscious thought. It was an afterthought that this is helpful because I have gout. But still, even fully loosened, it's hard to get these over. The only thing I don't like about these is the Timberland orange that's in the inside. I'm really going to try to see if I can find a way to dye that without having it leach into my skin or into my socks. I really wanted a pair of Red Wings, but they don't make the Red Wings that I want anymore, which were the slip-ons that I had, which are similar look to that shoe, except they were slip-ons, which means they had the elastic at the sides and no laces. No orange. Debating, should I make 3 videos on the way home, or should I just, after this one, bag it and just listen to the radio on the way home? What do you think, single subscriber? Well, I got 2 subscribers, but only one of them watches the videos. I don't know if he watches the ones on this channel. It's a really good question. end this one, I'll start the second one. Oh, how am I going to do that? Did I put him in here? Oh, no, but he is in here. Let me check something out. Whoops. There we go. Cool. Now that I have that, about a minute to go. I'm going to stick to the 22-minute rule on this. So I could end it right now, but what I'm going to do is, after I end this, I'm going to start part 2. And I'm going to call Matt and ask him if he watches the other channel. I believe he only watches when it's suggested to him. I don't believe he seeks it out. And since he's my only subscriber, I guess the algorithm is feeding him my videos pretty heavily. The only viewer is 2 subscribers. I keep saying that wrong. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So this is the actual phone I'm going to call him on. Still got 15 seconds to go. Man, it's just dragging. It's like the last. You remember being in school and just watching the clock and like the last few minutes just slowly going around? Anyway, have a wonderful day.